Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. That's it for today's video. So, as you can see from the title, it's another Beertube specific video. I didn't know how much people wanted, not that this is super inside baseball, but like how much people wanted those kind of videos, talking more about Beertube specific stuff. So this is a topic I've thought about, and kind of like last week's topic, got me thinking a little bit more about it, and I kind of revisited. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think I have a video's worth to talk about. I think it'll be engaging. So as you can see, it's basically how I distilled it down to was just, is Beertube important? And I'm not someone to take my life particularly serious. Like, there are aspects of my life I take very seriously, money, loving my family, that kind of stuff, obviously. But recording myself drinking beer, I don't take that seriously. How I dress, I don't take that seriously, So it's not that kind of a thing. I'm certainly not pretentious about this at all. And I hope it doesn't seem like a cop-out. I'm going to say yes and no. And some maybe in between. So the more no side of it, I don't know, at best, if you're going to rank Beertubers by size, influence, range, reach, all that kind of stuff, I may be C level, so there are people obviously much bigger than me, moderately bigger than me, and we can move the needle a little bit. I know sometimes, like, if I really like a beer, people will comment like, I gotta find that, and I assume half of them do find it. So it's like, oh, okay, so like what I said, and because I like this beer a lot, a handful of people, a few people, whatever, sought that beer out. So did I move the needle? Was it important to the craft beer industry? Well, that much, so I'm going to put that more in the no category, but like that much. So definitely, it is said many times, myself and other people, doing this kind of video is like a niche part of a niche market. It's so microscopic, so in terms of like, is Beertube important with that stuff? To me, not particularly. It does help get the word out, just like this stuff exists, like, hey, there's other people who do it, so like, yeah, fair enough. But to me, it's so microscopic, it's more in the no category than the yes category, that specific idea. Maybe earlier on, again, I'm kind of building off of some ideas from last week's video. If you did watch that, it might, I hope that the threads are obvious. If you didn't, I would go back and watch that. Like when I first got into it, slightly ahead of the curve. It was nice if I was drinking Dogfish Head 60 Minute. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm tasting. This is what I like about it. What other people have to say? Oh, there's videos where I can like drink along with them. Like that kind of stuff kind of starts getting me over to the yes category. So let me finish the no one though first. That moves the needle a little bit. Again, other people are into this. Okay, a little bit more exposure, whatever. Like that all factors minimally, but it factors. The yes category, the relationships are huge. I'm not going to pretend I knew Greg. I'm not going to pretend. Algorithm-wise, I actually learned about him relatively late. He wasn't an early person I knew about. But like with him passing, you see the pouring out. So like in that way, Beertube is important because connections are formed. Relationships can be formed. I've talked many times on this channel about fellow Beertubers who I'm like legitimately really good friends with now. People who comment, who we talk enough that like, or even met in person, like people like Ross, for example, where it's like, oh yeah, like they're my friend. Even if it's all text based, it's like every once in a while we're, checking in on each other, whether it's beer or whatever, so like friendships have formed. So in those ways, certainly Beertube's important. That community building, that one of the good things about alcohol is it can be a community experience. You meet up with your friends, at a bar or brewery or whatever, and you guys are talking, hanging out, having fun, excuse to get out of the house or go over to someone's house, like all that kind of stuff. For sure, the communal aspect is a huge yes, that Beertube is important because it's just another outlet for people to get connected in multiple ways, because it, like I was saying, like it bleeds out besides just watching the video, commenting, or not, like whatever, finding other channels, people in the comments interacting with each other. Then you get it onto something like Untapped or Instagram, where there's more of like direct messaging each other, let alone in person. Didn't Matt from Matt's Beer Review, like someone he met through the channel, I think he like invited to his wedding even, like, so like again, like very real world friendships can form through this. So like in that way, I would say Beertube is important, because anything that makes our existence better, us connect better, is important. So like, and that's kind of what shifted when I was contemplating this topic, and if I was going to record, if I had a video worth to talk about, was the outpouring for Greg. Like, clearly there were a lot of people who felt connected to him because of his channel, and I would not minimize that. To me, that yes, that is very good evidence to support Beertube can be important in that aspect. So again, I hope people don't think it's a cop-out answer that I had some no category stuff and some yes category stuff, because I think like a lot of issues in topics, there's nuance, there's complexity, and I think this is the same, and but anyway, yeah, so that's what I came up with walking Bruno this past couple of weeks when I try to think of topics and things to say. What do you guys think? What do you have to say about it? More in the no category, more in the yes? You see some complexity in it? You don't see any complexity? You think it's one way only? Let me know in the comment section below. Are there other Beertube specific things you want me to talk about? Behind the scenes stuff you want me to talk about? Ask me anything stuff you want me to talk about? Anything, everything? Comment section below. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untapped. It's No Hype Beer Reviews of both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.